How to become anyone that you want to be with identity design. Welcome to Mental Mastery, where the purpose of this channel is simple, focusing on this, to get from where we are to where we want to be, because everything in life is a head game. If you get your mind right, your actions will follow. If you get your actions right, whatever result it is that you wish to create will come. So let's dive straight into the topic of the first video, which is identity design. What is it? How can it positively impact your life? And then also, how can you start applying it today? Identity design is the idea that yourself, the idea, the concept of who you are, your set of characteristics, traits, behaviors, it is malleable. It is flexible. It is capable of change. And when you realize that, you can become intentional with those changes. You can choose to become proactive and design the person that you wish to become. Now, this is the closest thing that I've come across to the law of attraction. Not merely a matter of hoping, thinking the results that I want to manifest, but asking myself the question, what are the results that I want? And what kind of person accomplishes those results? What kind of person is capable of creating that reality? When you get clear on that character, you can design yourself to become that. So when you have a clear vision of who you need to be, you can take steps, practical steps on a day-to-day basis to becoming that. That is identity design. It significantly positively impacted my life, and I hope that it can do the same for yours. So let's dive straight into what the actual practical steps are of designing the person that you want to be, and then executing the steps necessary to create that, to get there, to then manifest the results that you wish to create in your life. Step one is believe. You have to believe that things can change. One of my favorite Will Smith quotes, you have to believe that things could be different. You have to believe that you, the idea of who you are, your set of traits, characteristics, thoughts, beliefs, perspectives, all of it changes over time. If I ask you this question, what were you like 10 years ago? What do you think of? If you were to describe yourself 10 years ago, what did you behave like? What did you think like? What beliefs of yours have changed? What's a belief that you look back on and you go, how did I ever believe that? How absurd is that? That is a strong piece of evidence to the fact that you change. You change. No matter what, you change. And that same change that you've had over the past 10 years, copy paste that to the next decade. Look at how much change will happen in your life over the next year, over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years. And you can either choose to be passive about it, or you can choose to be proactive, to decide, I'm going to be intentional with the person that I become. I'm going to design my character. And I think that's an integral step to fulfillment, is really getting clear on who you want to be and taking the steps towards that. So the first step is you have to believe that people change, that the idea of you will change. And this is kind of difficult to really integrate because our subjective experience is consistent, right? I am always having an experience. I always exist. Me seems to always be me. But if you look at your characteristics, your traits, your beliefs, all of them change. You have to believe that they can change, and you have to be proactive in taking control of that and guiding that. So, first step, believe. The second step is define. Define. You have to clearly define what your ideal self looks like. Now, a great way to reverse engineer this process, this is something that I use myself, is to ask myself, who are my icons? Who are the people that I admire in this life? Are there people or mentors or coaches or celebrities even, or family members, close friends? Why do I love them? Why do I admire them? What particular actions do they take that I respect? What particular beliefs do they have that I respect? What particular perspectives or energies or values do they hold that I respect? When you drill down into the reason why you respect someone, that is a compass to the values that you admire and hold dear. So for example, I've got a poster of Muhammad Ali in my room over here. We're in my bedroom, by the way. We've got a poster of Muhammad Ali over here. And the reason why I admire Muhammad Ali so much, or one of the many reasons, is his sense of certainty. He has a clear, you can see it in his actions, in the way that he speaks, in the way that he behaves. He believes. He has a sense of certainty about what he's capable of. And I admire that. So if I then do that with all of the people that I admire in my life and ask, what is it that I admire about them? That helps me get clear on what it is that I value and construct an idea of what does my ideal self look like? If I were to incorporate all of those values into the me of 10 years down the track, how would I be behaving? How would I be behaving? How would I speak to the people around me? How would I hold myself? What would I be doing on a day-to-day? So the second step is define. Get clear on what your ideal self looks like. And you can do that by reverse engineering the process. Another way quickly in which you can do that, write your own eulogy. Right? All else, it was Steve Jobs that said that, I'm paraphrasing here, that in the face of death, all insecurities, all petty fears, they fade to grey, and all that's left is what is important. When you write your own eulogy, you get clear on your legacy. What is it that you want to leave behind when you die? When you are no longer here, what impact do you want to have had? How do you want to be remembered? That unveils what it is that you truly value, what it is that you truly want to incorporate into your life, what it is that you want to give to this world. So write your own eulogy. It's a confronting task, but it is incredibly impactful and provides great clarity. So first was believe. Second was define. The third is assess. Assess. Take stock of where you are currently at with yourself. What are your actions like? What are your beliefs like? What are your thoughts like? Your mental patterns? How is it that you communicate? Are you a go-getter or not? Be brutally honest with what you are fantastic at, but also what you are not good at. Be brutally honest about what you take great pride in and what you don't. What are the unresourceful habits that you have? What are the destructive patterns that you have going through your head? Now, you can only effectively do this third step of assessing where you are at honestly if you've done step one correctly, believing that things can change. You can only be brutally honest with yourself if you believe that what it is that you are not truly proud of, you can change it. You can change it. So take stock of where you are at. Assess. A great way to do this is, how would your friends describe you? How would your friends... A close friend of mine actually did... This might sound absurd, and it seemed pretty absurd to me when she did it, but she ran a survey with her friends and said, if you were to describe me in 5 words, what would they be? And if you do that with a range of people in your life, you start to gather a sense of, how do other people perceive me? From a third person perspective, assess where you are at. If you were to write down your greatest strengths, but also your greatest weaknesses, what would they be? So that is the third step, assess. Next, step 4 is map. And this is the most exciting step, right? Because you now have a clearly defined point A, which is where you are currently at. Step 3, assess, is point A, where you are currently at. But you also have a point B now. You have a clear understanding of where it is that you want to be, who it is that you wish to become. Now all you got to do is figure out what the path looks like between. So, step 4 is map. Map out the path between point A and point B. Now, if you haven't found clarity in the first 3 steps, you need to revisit them, because only then can you really, really map out the path between point A and point B. So ask yourself, what needs to change? Who do you need to spend time with? Who do you need as a mentor or coach? What are the habits that you need to install into your day-to-day? What tools do you need? What environment do you need to set up for yourself to be able to walk that path from A to B? What tools do you need? What books do you need to read? Get clear on the actions that you need to take on a day-to-day basis to walk that path between A and B. That is map, step 4. Step 5 is leverage. Leverage in identity design, in pursuing your best self. That is a daunting task, because inherent to change is discomfort. You need to step outside of your comfort zone in pursuing your best self, in challenging yourself. And one essential aspect of that equation is step 5, which is leverage. Leverage. You need to gain enough leverage on yourself such that staying the same and not being or being passive in the person that you are and the person that you are becoming becomes more painful than the discomfort of stepping into the challenge of pursuing your best self. Think of it as a scale. You're balancing the scales of the comfort of being passive and being proactive with the way in which you are changing, in not stepping outside of your comfort zone. The comfort of being passive with the discomfort of stepping into challenge. You need to leverage yourself such that stepping into the discomfort is actually the pleasurable experience. How do you do that? Well, ask yourself the question, who needs you to be more? Who needs you to become that ideal self that you see? Think of 2 people in your life who you truly love and care for. And think about the positive impact that you could have on their life if you became that person. It was Mother Teresa that said that, we may not, I'm again paraphrasing, they will not act for the many, but they will act for the one. Instead of thinking, I need to become a better person for the world, think about, who is that person in my life? It could be your partner, it could be one of your parents, it could be a sibling, it could be a best friend. Who is that person in your life that you need to become more for? You have a duty, you have a responsibility to become more so you can give more, so you can positively impact their life in the way that you know that you can. And then ask yourself, what is the cost of staying passive about the person that you are, the person that you become? How much pain would you experience if 10 years down the track you were in the same position, with the same characteristics, with the same destructive habits? If you hadn't become proactive and taken supreme accountability for the person that you become, and you were in the same place in 10 years' time, how much pain would that cause you? So you really need to tip the scales. Create a list of all the reasons why you have to pursue that best self and make it the only option. Because there is too much pain linked with simply being passive with your life. You have one chance and one chance only. And step 6 of identity design is the step that ties it all together. Execute. Execute. True power is not planning, true power is execution. Think of the things that on a day-to-day basis are going to stop you from actually executing your best self. Is it a person that you are spending time with that pulls you down every time you try to take a step up? Is it someone who doesn't proactively support you and say, you know what? I believe that you can be that person and I want to support you in that journey. Think about all the friction points in your environment that may prevent you from consistently pursuing that best self, from persistently designing the person that you want to be, and remove them. Remove the friction points so that you can start executing. Now, action is essential because time is of the essence. If you watch this video and you don't do anything with it, what was the point of watching this video? You've just wasted your time. So I urge you, take action. Grab a pen, grab a pad right now and run through the 6 steps. Run through the 6 steps of identity design, and the you of 10 years down the future is going to thank you. If you take action right now and you take it in a meaningful manner, this next 10 minutes where you execute identity design, you apply it to your life, could significantly impact where you are in 10 years' time. Could significantly impact how fulfilled you are in 10 years' time. So I urge you, take action, run through the 6 steps. Believe, define, assess, map, leverage, and then execute. I hope that this video has been of value to you. I hope that there are some valuable insights that you have gained and that you can immediately start applying to your life. And I hope to see you in the next video.